Welcome back. It is Saturday, December 14th in the NBA. My three best bets are on the way. Today, only 2 games on, but they're big ones because we're in the semifinals in Las Vegas of the NBA in-season tournament. The first one, the Hawks versus the Bucks, starting around, I think, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And the second one around 8:30 p.m. is going to be that Thunder versus Rockets game. I have a couple picks from each of them in just one moment. If you are new, my name's Austin. We begin with a recap of how we did the day before. And Friday wasn't great to us, 2-3. I kind of gave back what we made on Thursday. Rudy Gobert's double-double. When you see him facing the Lakers, you just take it and you move on. Pacers plus 6.5, an easy winner. Miles Turner, I talked about who he could get into foul trouble, and he did just that. He had 5 points in the first quarter and then immediately got into foul trouble. Norm Powell got benched the final 6 minutes of the game due to a blowout. Whatever. Victor Wembanyama, one that we talked about at the end of the video. I really like the under there. Sometimes you're going to get lucky on under, sometimes you won't. He shot a season-high 10 free throws. Kind of annoyed at some of the injury things that happened in that game as Ayton and Robert Williams, two guys I relied on to be in there, did not play. So there was no size for this the Blazers team. So Wemby didn't even really shoot a lot of threes. He just got to the free throw line or laid it in at the rim. So kind of annoying, but either way, a 2-3 day. We got 3 picks. Let's try to go 3-0 today. And then at the end of the video, I'll give it to Logan. He's going to talk about all the spreads, both games, and talk about the spreads that he looked at. No official spread pick, and he'll kind of talk about that and why. But let's dive into the props we got, and we'll start in the first game, Hawks versus Bucks. And I'm on the Hawks side. I'm taking Jalen Johnson over 23.5 points plus assists as my first pick of the day, minus 120 on DraftKings. I take this at 24.5. I took a peek at his PRA line. Sometimes I feel like PRA lines are the sharpest ones out there. So instead of doing PRA, I rather the points plus assists where I see some upside. You can take the point PRA, you can take the points, you can take the assists. I like all of them today for Jalen Johnson, but points and assists are my 2 favorite. Now, it might be a popular play because Jalen Johnson has kind of been a cash cow. He's over this line 16 of his last 20, averaging 26.6 points plus assists. That included 28 against the Milwaukee Bucks on December 4th. So just 10 days ago, he cashed this over pretty easily against them. If you look at Jalen Johnson, even though the Hawks are getting healthier and healthier, he is still playing big-time minutes. And we saw that in the first, knockout game for them against the Knicks just a few days ago. He played 41 minutes, 21 points, only shot 8 of 20. So there obviously is some room for growth there. 7 assists on 13 potential assists. So, look, even with the healthy bench of Bogdanovic, you got DeAndre Hunter in there, Onyeka Okongwu. That's kind of the 8-man rotation they mostly play, maybe a 9th man thrown in there. This is a team that is relying on Jalen Johnson out there for defense, but also creating shots for his teammates. And obviously Trae Young does a lot of that too. But if I'm the Bucks, who am I game planning for? It's probably Trae Young. You know what? We got a game plan for him. Try our best to slow him down. I think Jalen Johnson gets some opportunities. He might get Giannis defensively on him, but I'm not too worried about that. It's not like really Jalen Johnson's going one-on-one and just destroying you that way. And heck, he just faced OG Anunoby, one of the best defenders in the NBA. So Giannis, not a big difference from that. Obviously, a little bit more size, but I like Jalen Johnson to get to his spots, get to the free throw line, do his thing. In an in-season tournament game, his minutes are going to be ramped sky high. So I really like this spot here, over 23.5 points plus assists. My first play in that game. And I honestly don't have another play. I just can't get there for a lot of different reasons on other guys. One guy I did look at, AJ Green's over in threes. I was going to take the 2.5 for like plus 140. That is one I looked at. I just don't have good track record on 3-point props. What would happen is what he did the first time they faced the Hawks. He went 2 of 11 from 3. That would be my 3-point prop. My other prop, if I had to do one, but again, I'm not going to get involved there. I'm going to move to this later game where I actually have 2 plays in this one. There's a couple other things I looked at, and I'll talk about those after these 2 picks. The first one will be Dillon Brooks of the Houston Rockets over 12.5 points, minus 120 on DraftKings. You could take it at 13.5 if it goes up there. 13, he does like to end on that number, but I still think he scores 15 or more tonight. Now, this is a very similar matchup somewhat to what we just saw from Dillon Brooks against the Warriors, but I like this spot a lot more for him. We look at Brooks. He will have the tough task of guarding Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, his Canada Olympic team running mate. So there is some foul trouble risk here. Yes, if he gets into foul trouble, I will be mad, but I won't be like, oh, we didn't see that coming. It's not like he's not defending anyone and he just randomly gets into foul trouble. He obviously has a a big role on this team is to guard SGA, but they have some other guys that can mix up some looks against him, like Amen Thompson off the bench and whatnot. But I like him a lot in this spot versus OKC, and he's played really well here. In his last 6 games versus OKC, all since joining Houston, he has scored 23, 13, 7, 20, 16, and 10, 17 and 16 points. You see him on the screen. He's over, and you see the field goal attempts pretty consistently, getting 10 plus field goal attempts. He is a guy that is going to be out there spot up shooting, and he can obviously attack some aggressive closeouts, get to the free throw line, and do those sort of things. And well, look, that's kind of how he scores. You look at his top 5 scoring methods. 39% spot up shooting, 19% transition, 9% free throws, 9% post up, and 8% putback. You look at the Thunder, they rank 25th, 5th, so they're good in transition, then 24th, 23rd, and 30th defensively against those scoring tendencies. So again, most of them is pretty good spot for him. Last game for the Rockets, we backed Jabari Smith Jr. against the Warriors. They tend to leave him open. I don't mind Jabari Smith Jr.'s spot, but I refuse to back that guy on the road. He is a straight bum when you get to him on the road. Look, Dillon Brooks is going to get a lot of minutes. If he can avoid foul trouble, we could see the upside of 36-ish minutes to match SGA's minutes. So again, I really like this spot here for Dillon Brooks. I think he could hit his over in first quarter points. I think this is a terrific spot. I already gave you the numbers of him against OKC since joining Houston, but if you even go further back into his Memphis days, he was consistently hitting the over left and right. It was almost every single game. So I really like this over for Dillon Brooks, over 12.5 points. And then my final play of the day, third one, is hopefully going to be a guy that's dishing it to Dillon Brooks and he's making some shots because a little bit juice. It's Alperen Sengun, over 4.5 assists, minus 156 on FanDuel. Do I play minus 150 props often? No, I don't think so. I think this might be my first one of the year. The reason I'm doing it is because I think this is an easy winner, honestly, guys. I wouldn't normally take a over 4.5 or minus 150, but I'd really think this is a winner. If you only have a 6+ assist line over 5.5, I'd probably only play that for a half unit. He has ended on 5 assists a lot of times, but I think he could easily approach 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10 assists tonight. That wouldn't really shock me. If you think about the pressure that you get from the Thunder's defense, they have a lot of on-ball pressure. So guys like Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, it's going to be tough for them to create their own shot here. So instead, I think they lean into Sengun's playmaking. We know he is one of the best playmaking ability centers in the NBA. Obviously, you have Jokic, Sabonis, but Sengun would arguably be right up there in that top 3 or 5 scenario. And we've seen in the last 14 games, he's averaging 6.5 assists per game, hit this over in 12 of 14, had 6 or more in 8 of 14. And if you looked at him, 10 plus potential assists in 7 of his last 8. So again, he is getting the assist opportunities. Now, if the teammates don't make shots for him, whatever, we can't do anything there. But look, the way the Thunder play defense, nothing is going in the paint. And they leave the spot up shots. We just talked about Dillon Brooks. So I think Sengun will get the ball at the top of the key. He will have to either dribble handoff to someone, or he'll be trying to find someone on a back cut, or trying to find someone, or maybe driving in and kicking it out to someone that's open. And if that guy's Dillon Brooks, you better knock it down. But again, we've seen him have pretty good games against this OKC Thunder. His last 5 games against them, 7, 2, 6, 6, and 9 assists. He's had 10, 5, 13, 7, and then most recently, 22 potential assists. Now, maybe the 22 is an anomaly, or maybe it's like, hey, we figured out, hey, that's how we think we have our best chance of success, is to give it to Sengun, let him create shots. That could be it too. I think he settles in the 10 to 15 potential assists. If he somehow gets more than that, this should be an easy winner. But I really like this spot here for him to dish it to his teammates. This is a Thunder team that is near the top, if not the top league team in points in the paint. Hartenstein, I don't know if he defends him like as tight as possible. I really think Sengun has the ability to play make here, and I really think he'll be dishing it to the teammates and spotting up for shots. Let's hope they can make those shots. But I just think they need him on the court here to kind of create offense, because obviously we saw that first game, the Rockets against the Warriors. That was disgusting. They could barely score 90 points. Sengun only played 30 minutes in that one. I think this is a game he plays a little bit more because they need his playmaking out there. So I really like the spot here. Over 4.5 assists. Is it juiced? Yes. Do I hate taking juice? Yes. But I think this is a winner. And if it turns green at the end of the day, that's really all that matters, is that this is a winner. And I really think it is a winner. I think the line should be 5.5 minus 120 if I were making the line. But it's 5.5 plus 130, 4.5 minus 156. I'll take a stab at it. So those are my 3 plays. We're going Dillon Brooks over in points, and Alperen Sengun's over in assists. And then our first game, Jalen Johnson's over in points plus assists. Now I'm going to throw it to Logan and talk about all the games and where he would lean. We don't have any official spread picks, but Logan's been pretty dialed in on the association. So Logan, the floor is yours. How do you feel about these games?
Yesterday, we had such an easy cash with the Pacers. Keep the points. They won as outright underdogs. We love to see that, obviously aided a little bit by the Sixers injuries, but hey, we take it nonetheless. Today, I don't have an official pick on the card, but I do want to talk about where my head is at on each of these spread games, and that's kind of what I want to do here. Let's first talk about that on the Eastern Conference side with Bucks and Hawks. I lean Bucks -3.5. Again, not an official pick because I really hate betting on or against the Atlanta Hawks. That's a team that I just haven't figured out most of the season. Anytime I do bet on them, they don't show up. Hawks just beat the Bucks by 15 on December 4th. Bucks were out rebounded by 14, shot 65% from the free throw line, and had 7 more turnovers. That is a recipe for a loss. So if you're looking at that box score, you're like, if they make adjustments, they should be in position to win this game. I do think the Bucks at home are a better force than what they displayed just recently against the Hawks. That's why my head is at with Bucks. But again, I'm not going to get there because the Bucks have not respected a lot of money this season. They're not a great against the spread team. So again, pump the brakes with Milwaukee, but my head would be at Milwaukee if I had to make a pick in that game. And on the other game, that's the game I feel more strongly about. And this pick did miss the card, but it was a close miss. It wasn't a pick I hated. I leaned Rockets +5.5. I'll take the Rockets with the points. They've split this season series so far with Oklahoma City, winning most recently on December 1st. Rockets are great in the fast break as well, 4th in points per game, and 11-6 straight up in conference games. So they're good against Western Conference teams, and they're also great in the fast break. The fast break is kind of what I want to highlight there because, again, Oklahoma City is a great defensive team. You're going to have to get some points in transition, no doubt. Houston also, I think they're able to trade late game stops with Oklahoma City. Keep this a tight 1, maybe 2 possession game. Oklahoma City, first in defensive rating. We know they're a great lockdown team. Houston is second, though. And I don't see that gap being all that big. I think Houston is able to make the stops and kind of win any sort of ugly type game. We see the total in this one only at 215. A low total like that, meaning defense definitely plays a role here. I think Houston is able to clamp up Oklahoma City. We saw what just happened in that Houston Golden State game. That was an ugly, very close, game. And again, defense prevailed for Houston. Those are my leans, Logan's leans, if you will. Hopefully, tomorrow I will have an official pick back on the card. I just wanted to talk about these cup games really quick. With that said, Austin, throwing it back to you though.
Yeah, and that's going to do it for us. Later on today, we'll have a bunch of NFL videos dropping, and I am going to lock in and get a big NFL week for us tomorrow. And let's just have a great day today. Let's go 3-0. Let's go dominate tomorrow's bigger slate in the NBA, and we'll dominate the NFL slate tomorrow as well. Those are my picks. It's Austin. I'm signing out. See you guys in the next one. Peace.